Currently, there are 358 students in 15 classrooms in the Thomas C. Passios Elementary School with an average class size of 24. That's 5 sections in each grade with 1 special educator and 1 special tutor, special services tutor. Several months ago, I stood before you. Sorry.
You could take that mic off.
Is that all right? Okay, that'd be better. This is like rubbing. This is rubbing my fingernails on the Thank you very much. Thank you. Can you hear me now? Several months ago, I stood before you because we were celebrating at TCP the making of AYP, the first time in 4 years that the school had made monumental growth. And actually, we were designated a commendation school by the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. We had a celebration at our school. We bought T-shirts, and everybody took part in this wonderful achievement. So when I was contemplating dismantling some of these programs at my school, I too got a little touched. I felt like the proverbial Job, where you had to cut the baby in half to meet the demands of the 2 mothers. So the cuts that I've recommended are what they are. We recommended 1 special services teacher, 1 special services tutor, and 1 half-time technology teacher. The loss of our special services teacher will result in an increase in the IEP caseload. Currently, we have 3 special educators in the caseload IEPs at 62, which gives about 20 per teacher. With 2, that number jumps to 31. This will reflect an increase in time spent on completing all the evaluation tasks, writing, amending, maintaining, all those things that IEPs require that are mandated by state and federal law. And it will diminish the time that our students have with some of these special educators. We will certainly be in compliance with the IEPs, but the quality of services is going to be drastically impacted. It's going to increase the number of meetings that our IEP teachers, our special ed service teachers have to attend, and it'll certainly increase the time it takes for them to prepare progress reports and help with report carding. It's going to have a negative impact on our inclusion model, something that we've worked really hard to maintain. Our flexible grouping for high and low-end learners as well as struggling learners, our co-teaching, our in-class monitoring and support. And the content area teachers are going to need to pick up the slack, and they're going to have a lot more increased responsibility for meeting all the needs of all the students, disabled as well as non-disabled. The loss of the half-time technology teacher is especially troubling to me. I'm a big technology fan, and to think that students will no longer have access to the 21st century technology skills that they need to become successful citizens in a global economy is very troubling. Our technology teacher also covers internet safety, keyboarding, word processing, spreadsheets, and some of that will be taken up by our content area teachers, but they certainly don't have the skills or the expertise that a full-time trained technology teacher has. Also, I'm afraid it's going to impact our science and technology MCAS test scores. That's a tested area in the 5th grade, and we've done very well in that, and I think that's in large part due to having a full-time technology teacher. Finally, our specials block, which I was able to accommodate common planning, will be totally dismantled. We are no longer going to have technology, and because of the loss and the reduction in our special ed staff, our tutors will not be available to teach the research skills class, which has been a wonderful addition to our specials. So we're looking at the total loss of common planning time as well as our total dismantling of the master schedule. The decrease of a classroom tutor, again, will increase the ratio of teachers and tutors and aides have with the number of students, and it'll increase the load and demand on our remaining tutors and remaining special educators as well as all classroom teachers. The elimination of common planning time just flies in the face of all the research that states that teachers need time to collaborate and talk and share best practices. And common planning time has always been an essential component of all effective schools. And the loss of it will be very devastating, I think, to our teachers. We worked very hard to get that this year, to analyze data, to examine student work, to discuss student current research, and all of those things will go by the wayside. The loss of one tutor and one teacher, and this is particularly troubling to me. One of the reasons TCP was able to make AYP was because we implemented the trifecta. And a big part of that trifecta was the power block. And the power block, we tried as much as possible to reduce the sizes of the classes for directed instruction. Students were homogeneously grouped, and the loss of these teachers will impact that. And I'm afraid that's going to really hurt us on MCAST as well as just in meeting the needs of all our students. We've also cut our supplies budget to the bare bone, and that's going to be a reduction in resources and materials. And finally, the thing that I find even more troubling than all the other stuff is the social and emotional ramifications on our staff and our students. The whole thing of building relationships, small group environments, the closeness that we've tried to foster through a responsive classroom is just, we'll still maintain all of those things, but I see them as being decimated. I guess the decrease in staff will reduce our ability to provide personalized attention, and we will still do our best, as Loxie said, to meet the needs of all our students. But this is a devastating blow to the elementary school. Thank you.
Any points from the board?
I'm guessing from what I heard from both the primary and the TCP that with these reductions in support for the classroom teachers by eliminating tutors and special education teachers, my expectation is we can predict a larger number of out-of-district placements some number of years down the road. Is that a reasonable expectation?
I know that we will make every attempt to meet the needs of all our students. But as the load increases, it does become increasingly difficult to provide for all those needs. Long term, I can't predict what's going to happen. But I always think if you can nip a problem in the bud, you're much better off than trying to take care of it later on down the road.
Thank you, Dr. Lane.